Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Well, it all started with a project I got. Project Hybrid from the HKU. For Project Hybrid, we were tasked to design a game experience where the virtual and physical world would meet. We gave ourselves the goal to distract the player by using chaos with humor as a result. Our main element is chaos. We try to bring confusement to the player by using multiple distractions. We connected the physical to the digital world by making the player experience physical distractions that would support the distractions from the virtual space. We come up with the scenario to make a game where you play as an inexperienced reporter whose job it is to bring the news as professionally as possible. As you read the news of the teleprompters, the game will try to distract you. This will be done in several ways. The most prominent way is a disaster that will be simulated in a physical space as well. To get a clear focus for our research, we developed the following research question. Does adding chaotic elements to a challenging reading task result in humor? Before formulating a hypothesis to this research question, we started a preliminary research. We made a quick paper prototype in which we tested our core gameplay loop. The players would be reading from a teleprompter while we added elements of chaos. We made the discovery that most playtesters did experience entertainment from this exercise, yet some were left dissatisfied. There were a few elements that the people from the last group had in common. One of these elements was having certain difficulties with reading the text. Based on these findings, we decided to go with the following hypotheses. When our goal is to distract the players from the task at hand, the amount of enjoyment they will experience in our current setup will be mostly dictated by the player's proficiency of the English language. With this in mind, we started our A/B test, where we would try to test two different chaotic elements of the text. A would consist of increasing the scrolling speed of the teleprompter halfway the playtest. This would mean that the time that reading an article would take would decrease. B would consist of enlarging the text size halfway the playtest. This had the added effect that the player would see less of the text at the same time, and that it also would take more time for an article to finish scrolling. For the disaster, we chose an earthquake. This because it could easily be simulated in a physical space. We could replicate falling rubble on the player with socks, and we shook the chair to get a feeling of the shakes. To measure how the player experienced the game, we made recordings of player behavior. We conducted an interview with the playtester. We asked the player to give a score on a scale from 1 to 5 for easy comparison. With all the data we got from the above mentioned, we made the following key observations. Changing the size of the letters was experienced as more hindering for the players. They couldn't see enough text at the same time to properly formulate a sentence in their heads. While sharing their experience, the players confirmed that this caused frustration with loss of interest as a result. The change of the teleprompter speed, on the other hand, seemed to be more of an entertaining challenge. If they made mistakes, they skipped a part and tried it again on the next bit. Even though they made more mistakes, they expressed more signs of entertainment and brought the news in a more lively tone. Does adding chaotic elements to a challenging reading task result in humor? Yes, it does. At least it does in our current setup. We based this upon several discoveries. First off, we discovered that the speeding up resulted in an entertaining challenge for the player. This was confirmed during the interviews. Based upon our own personal experience, we also know that when reading out loud more complex or strange text, such as tongue twisters, you begin to laugh and perhaps feel a little awkward. We recognized this behavior in our playtesters as well. The players did not expect the earthquakes when I hit. They initially reacted surprised and took a small moment to regain composure. While the earthquake was happening, many playtesters started lowering their reading tempo and making more mistakes. Finally, we could also see if our hypothesis was correct or not. We concluded that it was true for the most part. Most of the players that struggled with the English language did experience more frustration and felt less capable. But some also could still experience enjoyment nonetheless.